I'm Dave Curlin. I'm the founder and CEO of Objective Management Group. And since 1990, we have evaluated and assessed 1.8 million salespeople, sales managers, and sales leaders. And the data we have from that tells quite an amazing story. It's interesting. It seems like a pretty simple thing, but a whole bunch of variables come into play. So for instance, one of the problems we've recognized is that especially when salespeople are selling something they can demonstrate, they lead with that demonstration and they get people interested in the product, but it's nice to have. This is cool. I like it, but it's not a must-have because they led with the product instead of leading with a consultative approach where they identified a problem. So if they could uncover a problem or a compelling reason to buy, they've got we must have a solution to the problem. But when they lead with the product, they get this is nice to have. And if they did that with someone other than the decision maker, which is usually the way it starts, that prospect doesn't have a compelling reason to get the decision maker engaged. Or they can't go to the decision maker and ask for $20,000 because it's not a must-have. And therefore, the opportunity gets halfway through the sales process and hangs. It will never go any further because the decision maker isn't engaged. Part of this starts with the company, not the salespeople, because the company is the one telling the salespeople to start with a demo. And that the second piece is that it's okay for them not to start with a decision maker, that it's okay for them to call on some middle manager who might be a user of their solution, but certainly not a financial buyer or an authority that can make a decision. So right off the bat, we have three things. We have lack of sales process, lack of mandate for starting with a decision maker, and then given that those two things might not be the salesperson's fault, salesperson doing an ineffective job getting to must-have, so a prospect isn't comfortable getting a decision maker engaged. Then we have the other part, belief system. There's two parts to this where part one, the salesperson doesn't believe they belong in a conversation with that decision maker. They don't speak the language. They're intimidated calling on that high level of decision maker, or they're misinformed and they don't believe they need to call on that level of decision maker. 80% of sales people are not getting to the actual decision maker. And there is such a discrepancy where by and large, they're only reaching actual decision makers 10 to 15% of the time. But the opportunities that actually make it to late stage, guess what? They're in front of the decision maker. And there's so much compelling evidence that says if you get in front of the actual decision maker, you're going to get the business because you might be the only one who actually gets to the final decision maker. But people aren't learning from that evidence. As usual, it starts with sales management. And sales management, absolutely the necessity of having a formal, structured, milestone-centric, consultative-based sales process in place, mandating that the salespeople follow it, holding them accountable to meeting those milestones and those stages along the way, checking in and debriefing, and insisting that opportunities start with a decision maker. So many sales managers are so ineffective at growing and developing and coaching their salespeople up that they're happy to just complain about what they have. And they could also choose to bring outside experts in to help fix it, but they're threatened by that. They've been trying to do it for 5 years. What if somebody comes in from the outside and does it in 5 days? Oh my God, that wouldn't look very good. Salespeople who have the need to be liked will have difficulty switching over and suddenly trying to get through to that decision maker. So they have to overcome that need to be liked. Two, people who are risk averse will see that as this is very risky. They'll think they already have a chance at getting this business, when in reality they have little chance since they're not with a decision maker. And they'll think that if they upset this first contact that they're talking to, that could blow the opportunity up and they might lose it. And three, having awareness alone of what they need to do isn't usually enough. Something bad has to happen before they have an awakening and they go, oh my God, I can't sell this way anymore. You know, the bad that might happen might be a commissionless quarter. It might be getting fired for lack of performance. But so many people are underperforming and so many people aren't getting the decision makers. It doesn't cause the one salesperson to be obviously worse than everybody else. It's the elastic band theory. You can make them aware of what's going on, show them how to do it the right way, and lay out a process and give them the questions and give them the next moves. And you can get them nodding their head up and down. Go, yeah, I need to do that. And they might go out and try it, and the elastic band stretches. But as soon as you let go, or as soon as the coaching stops, or as soon as the training stops, it snaps right back into place. That's the human condition as I see it.